Welcome to the Ageless Factor with Alita St. James. Each episode features the leading cutting-edge experts in the field of regeneration, longevity, and agelessness. Together, we'll break through the stigma of aging and learn the secrets of winding up and not down at any age.
Thank you all for tuning into the Ageless Factor with Alita St. James. And today I'm going to talk about ageless living and how I've actually embodied that. Now, the interesting thing is that women in my age group, like Dolly Parton, Cher, Dolly, I think, is 77, Cher, 77. Diana Ross is 80, and she's just completed an album. They're performing. They just keep winding up and not down. So I started out in a show business career. I went to school in London. I had the lead in the Amsterdam production of Hair. I had my own rock band. I directed star packages. I was like on the cutting edge of before my time, always. And I never thought about cannot do. It was always unlimited possibilities. That's how I was brought up. My brother is Curtis Sliwa. He ran for mayor of New York City. I was Democrats for Sliwa, unlimited possibilities there. We certainly didn't come from a political background. So it's always about expansion. And when I was in my 40s, all right, people were saying to me, you always talk about having children. Well, when are you going to do it? And I said, well, my grandmother had my mother at 54, so I'm not in any rush. However, by the time I hit 49, I started to get definitely more serious about that journey. And it took me a while. And I went to India, to the southern part of it with the fertility temples. I went to Peru when nobody heard about Peru, about 40 some odd years ago, just to really get all the energetics together to go beyond where I already was. Because by that time, I had transitioned out of show business and I was into energy healing and life coaching. And I was very, very fulfilled with that because unlike show business, I didn't have to wait around to get a job or to get my film produced or my play produced or to get a role that I was excited about playing. I could A, play myself, and B, I could generate immediately, get results, see how people could become great in their lives and to overcome obstacles and to look at their own possibilities. I wrote a book called Life Shift, Let Go and Live Your Dream, which you'll see at the end of this podcast. And you should definitely get that book. It's the transformational Bible of how you can manifest your deepest dreams and desires. Before, everybody was talking about being a manifestor or a creator. It gives you the tools and it gives you the energetics to be able to do that. So anyway, I wanted to have these children. That was my deepest dream and desire. People say, well, why would you want to do that at your age? Well, because why not? And I've always said, why not? So now my kids, all right, they were the Miracle Twins' second biggest story internationally in 2004. They're 19 years old. And my daughter's in Dean College, and she's getting straight A's. And my son is looking at a myriad of different things he could do, engineering, acting, believe it or not. We went to Stellar Adler's the other day. I felt like I was right at home. And I saw the kids there. It was so cute. They were looking at me. And I said, no, I'm not signing up for this. Been there, done that. They all laughed. But who knows with my son and my daughter? I mean, life is limited possibilities. You just have to go for it. So anyway, they're 19 now. And I am transitioning at 76 to what can I give the world in terms of what I know and how I can energetically heal, which is ageless living. So it's a philosophy that I have where there are no limitations and you can go for what you want. Naturally, it's not crazy. I'm not trying to become a concert pianist, nor would I suggest you do that in your 70s. But there's certainly things that you want to be able to be inspired by and to do. This morning, I went to a Pilates class. Now, I haven't done Pilates in 45 years. Okay, I'd done it in LA when all the dancers were doing it and I was dancing. But I thought, you know what? I want to get my body back in shape. I really want to give it that extra, push. And sure enough, I had body memory. I was able to do a lot of the exercises. I was remembering them because I want to keep fresh. I want to keep inspiring myself. I want to go beyond where I am. So one of the keys in terms of ageless living is that you do not identify with what 76, for example, myself, looks like, or 70 looks like, or 65 looks like. You just identify with the age that you want to stay at, which for me, I'll go from 35 to 40. That's my age, all right? So I tell my body, I look at pictures of myself at that age, that's where we are. And sure enough, the body listens and then molecularly shifts and puts me in alignment, and I can perform from that level. So today, it's going to take me, I don't know, 7, 8 sessions to get back to where I was, but I can see where it's possible. My body was responding very well because I don't have in consciousness that it shouldn't. Now, do I take supplements? Absolutely. Do I take peptides? For sure. Have I taken some stem cells down in Mexico? You bet. Because I want to stay on the cutting edge of what's available to regenerate my body, not only in the mind, but in the physical. Now, the key that's besides thinking, all right, this is my age, and I'm not identifying at all with decrepitude or what an age is supposed to look like other than youthfulness. The second most important thing is to release any of the emotional angers, resentment, memories of disappointments that you can have in your cellular level and in your reality. Because if you hold on to those things and you're not in a place of love and forgiveness and what else is possible and letting go of what didn't happen, that makes you older. It totally does. It puts you back in the past of not having and feeling sorry and sad and resentful, and that ages you. If you look at people that are like gurus, for instance, I saw one that was 800 years old. You know, he looked like 40. There was a picture of him in one of the ashrams in LA. I'll never forget it. I looked at that picture and I asked, how old is this guru? They said 800. I said, you're kidding. Looks like 40. Well, he doesn't want to reincarnate. He just wants to stay. He's 800 years old now. He's 800 and God only knows 40 or 50, but he looked like 40. And I thought, wow, I'm gonna learn how to do that. Well, one of the key secrets is constantly changing over your feelings of disappointment and sadness and I'm not good enough and self-doubt. You don't have time for that when you're excited about living and you're inspired and you say, okay, that didn't work out, but what else can work out? Unlimited possibilities, unlimited potential. Deepak talks about it. Wayne Dyer talked about it. I was talking about it in Life Shift, like go and live your dream. And that's the key that people are understanding more and more. Every week, I go and do the Scalar Lights in Staten Island, all right? They have an EES systems there, and I stay overnight because I want my cells to get fifth dimensional energy transposed in there so that I'm elevating myself constantly. When I get home, I go and I take acupuncture, so I move it through my body so that I'm at that level and I live at that level. So if you want to have that radiant look, then you need to bring in the light and the spiritual energy and that sense of forgiveness. And what else is possible? What else can I create? Do you know there are people, and I know you know them, that get stuck in their 20s or their 25 or 30s with things that didn't happen, or a love affair that didn't happen, or they married the wrong person, or a divorce, or children that kind of went awry, or their finances that kind of hit the bottom. And that's the reality. And they take that reality into the rest of their life when you don't have to do that. You can look at people that have stem cells and do all the latest in anti-aging and longevity, rejuvenation. It doesn't mean that they look that much younger. In fact, I'm kind of shocked when I know what their programs are because they don't bring in the light and the spiritual energy. That's the radiance of youthfulness. Agelessness means divine spirituality. Divine spirituality. That's in numerology. Julian Michael, who is an amazing numerologist, told me that yesterday. He said it's divine spirituality. That's what you're talking about. So it's not like you're holy moly religious. It means that you live from a place of love and regeneration and what else is possible and what else can I create in my life while I'm here. Now, number 3 that I'm going to talk about is there's times in my life when I was 50 and I had 2 miscarriages where I thought, do I want to end it now? There were just so many, challenges that I was going through, and we laughed. But the truth is that you can recharge and renew instantaneously in the moment. They say that if we were really at that level, the 5th and 7th dimensional level, you get a cut. You don't look at the cut as, oh my God, I got a cut. You see it healed and it can be healed. Now, spiritual people like Jesus was able to do that, spontaneous healing. We can actually do that, but you have to be at that level of consciousness, and it takes a long time to really work through that. And some of us are not having that aspiration. When you think about Sai Baba, he could, from ash, get some jewels in his hands and hand you over a ring. That's real. John of God, when I was down in Brazil, even though that's kind of controversial right now, I did witness healings there where he had an entity come through him and the person was able to see that wasn't, made up. That actually happened. I was there. So my point is these spontaneous remissions and this ability to be in the present and see the positive happening and then generate from there with discriminating awareness. You don't want to be, Sally Sunshine and everything is possible when you're in the middle of a, earthquake and you got to run. The fact of the matter is you want to see as much as possible from a positive spiritual perspective and hook it into your divine purpose. So if you're living from your purpose, like what is my purpose? If your purpose, if you're in your 60s or 70s and you decide, my purpose is just to retire and have fun, retire and have fun. If that is your purpose, that's fine. That's a good purpose to have because having fun and joy in your life is a key to agelessness. I come from a family that, it's about work, it's about service, about what else can I help mankind with. So I have to kind of pepper it into, all right, that's really great. And where is the joy in your life, Alita? Where, do you get to go on vacation? Most of my life, I have only gone on vacation after I've done a retreat. And that was with my dearest colleague, Randall Hayward, who would take me all over the world to do these spiritual adventures. And then after that, he said, okay, now we're going to have 3 days where we're going to enjoy Bali. We're going to go to Java. We're going to see what's going on in Mexico after the retreat. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that. But now I've got that built into my lifestyle. Like I just did this amazing Be Ageless retreat in Cabo, Mexico, which I'm going to send out information for. It was so transformational. The place was off the charts fabulous. When I first saw it, this is out of the movies. We were able to do cacao ceremonies on the beach, which is opening up your heart center. It was a full moon, so we did a full moon regeneration on the beach again, on a jetty overlooking the ocean. Everything that you would possibly want, I was able to do rebirthing in the water with the people that were there. I mean, it was spectacular. And everybody felt like they jumped levels, including myself. So am I going to do more and more of those retreats? Absolutely. Am I connecting with stem cells and regeneration and peptides? Absolutely. Because for me, you have to have the whole picture going. You can't just use one piece of it. You have to have your body, mind, and spirit engaged in this process of the ageless living. So there are many people now that are talking about 120. I was talking about 120 when I was 35. Then somebody says, yeah, there's actually a club. I said, you're kidding. I have been told astrologically that we can go up to 150. I don't know if I want to do that, but 120 seems to be my good point at this particular moment. And there's so much to live for because I'm giving what I know and transforming people daily. And also because of my healing energy, I can send that healing energy in a transmission to people to be able to lift them up from their level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness as I'm sending the energy through light. So it rapidly creates a transformation. It's a rapid transformation if you open up to believing that you can be ageless and to opening up to the possibilities of that. So when you look at Cher and she's performing, and Dolly at 77, and Diana Ross, and all those wonderful, performers, as an artist, you're brought up with the idea of constantly creating. Well, you don't have to be a celebrity artist. You can be a divine being having a spiritual experience in your physical and just keep creating and inspiring yourself and other people and having the joy of life before you make a transformation and transition into another plane. And you can kind of decide, instead of having a heart attack or dying of cancer, which I had cancer this in July, breast cancer. I developed it, 75. Anyway, I went to Mexico. I had it out. I did alternative treatments. It's totally out of my body. I look better now than I did then. I used it as a leveling up, not as something that was going to contract me. I'm dealing with my diet. I'm dealing with supplements. I'm dealing with blood work. I am cancer-free right now, and I will remain so. Because of that situation, I've leveled up. Because of many challenges in my life, I've leveled up. So I'm saying to you, when you listen to these podcasts, I'm going to have people on that are going to inspire you to level up in your life, and they're going to give you tips on how to do that. So I'm going to just go back over the fact that, number one, do not identify with anything that looks age related. Decide which age you're going to be at and stay there. Release any anger, resentments, holding on to what should have been and what didn't. Move past that and move into allowing yourself to bring in the light into your cellular level so that you can level up to that divine energy within inside of yourself that radiates into your physical, and live as long as you want to do, as long as humanly possible. I say 120. You might say 100. Please, that's enough, Alita. Great. But live it with joy. So I want to inspire you in these podcasts. I want you every week to go, wow, I'm going to use that, and that, integrate it, work on it for the next podcast and the next expert that I'm going to have talking to me about what they do to level themselves up and to offer that ability to you. So my kids right now are amazing. They're typical 19-year-olds. They keep me on my feet. You talk about having to be ageless. I don't stop. People said to me, what are you going to do when you're 75 and they're 19 or 18? And I said, well, first of all, I'm going to look better then than I do now, which I do. And secondly, I'm going to have as much energy as I had then, and I do. 3-4 hours sleep, I'm good. That is not considered the proper thing, but I asked Wayne Dyer. I said to him, I said, Wayne, how many hours sleep do you get? He said, about 4. I said, yeah, that's about what I get. He said, I'm fine. I said, I'm fine too. So there's some people that can do that. We can regenerate at night and keep going. I don't feel tired during the day. So whatever it is that you want to do is possible for you to do, as long as you believe it and you live by it and it's positive. You can get the positive result right off the bat. Yeah, this is working. This isn't. If I need 8 hours sleep, good. Get 8 hours sleep. Maybe at some point you might need 6, maybe 10, doesn't matter, as long as it works for you. And that's one of the things I want to sign off with. What works for you? How are you going to dance to your own drum? I never listen to anything that anybody says I can or can't do. I always say, just watch me. You can't have children at 56. Yes, I can. Just watch me. You can't do that. You're going to get old. I'm winding up and not down. Just have those affirmations and you'll see life will become so much more fun, so much more inspirational, and you'll live it with joy every minute you possibly can. That's my gift to you. Life shift. Let go and live your dream. My love and blessings to you, Alita St. James, on your journey to agelessness.